The next part of the practical exercise is where we have to enter opening balances in QuickBooks for suppliers and also for customers. Let's look at suppliers first. The information and the task is to create new supplier accounts and enter opening balances as at a certain date. In this case is the 31st of December 2010. We are then given a list of the names, addresses and balances of the suppliers. This refers to actions or items that have taken place before the date of 31st of the 12th 2010, and this information has to be carried forward. In some cases, of course, there may be no opening balances, but in this case our task is to simply enter suppliers with opening balances. When we go to QuickBooks, on the home page we have different sections of QuickBooks that we've already seen already. We're interested in the supplier area. We can point and click on the button here, or we can go to the supplier center here. Let's click the supplier button. A new window pops up and we have information here with a list of suppliers here and information relating to a particular supplier that has been highlighted. We want to create a new supplier. We go to this window, click on New Supplier, and a pop-up appears. The supplier name from the exercise, in this case we'll go with the first one, is ESB. Take that name and copy it into QuickBooks. Because we have an opening balance, we need to transfer that amount in as well, and in this case it's €320, and we were told the date of the opening balance transfer is 31st December 2010. Put in the balance of 320.00 and again the date. Once the actual date cell is highlighted, we can simply type in 31 for the date, 12 for the month, and then 10 for the year. Click on Tab and it will separate into the day, month, and year format. Again, we need to put in ESB there as well. When we do that and click on Tab, you will notice that the first name will appear on the address box here. We then simply go to the address box, click Enter, and again put in the information and paste it into QuickBooks. All this information is relevant, but it can be added at a later time and will always be updated by simply clicking on the Edit box. Once we have that done, we can click OK to close this window, or we can click on Next, say yes to that, to leave this window open and continue on entering suppliers. In this case it's Galway County Council. Copy. QuickBooks, paste it, put in the opening balance. In this case it's €500. And again the date is relevant. Again we can put in Galway County Council and again put in that information. Addresses and so on are optional and can be done at a later time. We can click on Next, or to close this window click OK. Again it is prompting us to inform us that this transaction is more than 90 days in the past. This is handy if the date actually has been put in wrong. In this case we know it is right. Just click on Yes. And now we can see we have two figures here, ESB, Galway County Council. If we wanted to find out what the total balance is on these, there's a number of ways we can do it. We can go to the Report Center by clicking on the icon bar. When we do that, we're brought into a new window, and there's a column on the left hand side which will give us information relating to certain areas within accounting and bookkeeping procedures. In this case we are dealing with suppliers, so we want to go to the reporting section that deals solely with suppliers and payables. Click on Suppliers, and we have different groups of supplier reports. We can pick any, and in this case I want to go to one that might say Supplier Balance Summary. Again, point your cursor over the name. Click on that and we can see now that we have a supplier balance of Joe Blogs, ESB, Galway County Council. The total is €820. This will give us a total balance. Again, that was accessed by going into the Supplier Centre, into the Report Centre, into Suppliers and Payables, and then clicking on any of the reports to see what information we can access from that. If we go back to the home page by clicking on the home icon, we can now look at the next part of the exercise, assuming these have all been entered. And on page 3, we have set up customer balances. And again, the information, because it relates to customers now, we go back into QuickBooks, go into the customer section on the home page, click on that. We can see we have no customers at the moment. Click on the button New Customer, New Customer. And again, it's the same type of window we're brought into, but in this case it doesn't say supplier, we're now dealing with customers. Enter the first one, in this case it's Council Mahon. And again, because we are told there is an opening balance, in this case it's 550.33, and it's imperative that you put in the correct date. Put in the name again, click on Tab, and then fill in the information to fill out those fields. Click OK to close out this window, or click on Next to save this information and leave this window open. You now have entered customers, Council Mahon Co-op, and you've also entered suppliers, Galway County Council, and ESB. That is how to enter supplier and customer balances in QuickBooks.